We are now on to question number 8, and Monica, you will be kicking off this one. It's a two-parter, and part A is: are you in favor of the Save Our Homes from Excessive Property Taxes Amendment? That's a mouthful. And then B, if passed, which will be this November, what are the major areas that you would agree to cut or eliminate from the budget of Daytona Beach?
So, as a resident, I love it. As someone who's a commissioner and knows how the money is being used, I just think to myself, okay, where are we going to get these funds from? With Daytona Beach, I mean, from what I heard from the city manager, I believe it's going to be around $15 million that we would have to cut from our budget. So I would have to see what's going to come to us from this budget because we're going to have to start thinking about it for 2027 if it does pass in November. I worry about the smaller municipalities that don't have, you know, utility money coming in, permitting money coming in, or commercial money coming in. So I don't know how they're really going to survive or pay for their public safety. And when our legislators in Tallahassee, come up with these bills, I wish there would be, a little bit more planning on where that excess money is going to come from. Will it come from the state? Is it going to come from an extra sales tax? Because I don't want to be ignorantly bliss and say, that money is not going to come from somewhere else. Can cities cut on some expenses? Of course. If I'm not making enough money, I have to cut my budget too at home. And I would expect cities to do that as well. But like I said, for these smaller cities that don't have anything besides property taxes coming in to pay for their public safety, I get a little worried. So that's where I stand with that.
Okay. And John, you are up.
Yes, I think this is a really large move because if we did a smaller tax cut, we could, as a city, maybe survive that. And if revenue or the housing costs, of course, are going up, and if money was coming in excess, of course, a lot of places would say they always need money, but if it was really obvious that the money was really coming in excess, and that the cuts to the property taxes would not risk all kinds of spending by cities, but it seems an all or nothing. It seems like if the property taxes are eliminated, or at least the way the plan is, in like 3 years or so, there'll be so little money coming in for the cities, either other taxes will come up or we're just not going to get services. And that also might create something of a recession for Florida because all these workers are not going to get paid that work for the cities. And of course, we should have them if they, add something to the city. But I would see this as so bold and so much of a move all at one time that it is kind of really scary. It's not a small cut. It's too large a cut, and it's taking a big risk. Maybe it's going to work out fine, but it's too scary for me.
Okay, and if passed and you got elected, what are the major areas that you would agree to cut? And I'm talking, so I'll give you a few extra seconds to answer that question.
Yeah. You would, unfortunately, maybe have to cut things like, if you had to, cut things like libraries and parks and things like that, park and recreation. Not that you would ever want to, because I wouldn't want to advocate that, but you couldn't cut police. You couldn't cut the water department because you need water, you need police. Those are absolutely essential. So you really couldn't cut those, and you would try to fight as hard as you could not to cut those, because then you don't have safety, then you don't have water. So the things that seem like luxuries, but yet they give a much better quality of life, I hate for them to be cut, but you have to cut somewhere. And police, and also me being in school, of course, that's safe according to the bill.
Okay, great. Thanks for that from both of you.